How does YouTube actually rank your videos? Your title and your description are a much bigger factor in how your video ranks in search. The most important thing to know about it is that your description is 5,000 characters. This video is all about getting more views on your small channel by ranking in YouTube search. Hey, I'm Jamie the Marketing Nerd, and today we're talking all about descriptions, which this video is part 3 in a multi-part series on YouTube search engine optimization for small channels. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to get more video views through YouTube search engine optimization. Before we get started, if you want more of the best free advice to market smarter, not harder, then make sure that you go down there and subscribe to the Marketing Nerd Show. Plus hit that bell so that you're notified every time I post a new video with free actionable advice every week. All right, let's dive right into it.
We interrupt this program to bring you the Marketing Nerd Show, starring Jamie, the Marketing Nerd. Grab a seat, take out your notes, and let's get into the show!
I'm going to be sharing today's tips in 3 parts, but first, let's recap. How does YouTube actually rank your videos? In the last video, video 2 of this SEO series, we talked about how tags used to be a much bigger part of ranking your video, but due to recent changes that YouTube has made, now your title and your description are a much bigger factor in how your video ranks in search. So following these steps that you're about to learn today, to write a good description that's packed with keywords is one of the best things that you can do and most important steps that you could take to ranking your videos in YouTube search, especially as a small channel. With that being said, here's what you need to know about the YouTube video description. The most important thing to know about it is that your description is 5,000 characters. And just like we talked about in the last video with the tags, and how you have 500 characters for your tags, and it's super important to use all 500 of those characters. The same logic is going to apply right here, right now to your description. You want to completely fill it to the best of your ability, fill up those 5,000 characters with a relevant, keyword-dense description. And since we're talking about it, what does keyword density mean? Let's use a quick example. Let's say that you're going to look at 2 separate paragraphs of writing. Each one is about 100 characters. Example A uses your search term once in 100 characters, while example B uses 5 of your different search terms in that same 100 characters. Well, what we could say is that example B has a higher keyword density than example A. I hope that makes sense because this is something really important to understand when you're looking at writing these descriptions. Now, I'm going to show you my process for writing a keyword-dense description that is as close to 5,000 characters as possible in 3 main parts. Part 1 is going to be default sections that your description should always have. Part 2 is going to be about how to write and fill out your description. And then finally, part 3 is going to be 4 of my best tips to help you max out those 5,000 characters. So now let's move into part 1. When you hear that you should be writing 5,000 characters for every YouTube description, that sounds like a lot of work. But I have some good news for you. Luckily, the good news is that you don't have to start from scratch every single time. There are a few of what I call default sections in your YouTube description, and these are different pieces of the puzzle that are pretty much going to be in every single YouTube description that you write. Having these set is going to allow you to have at least 1,000 characters, if not more, already taken care of for every single one of your YouTube descriptions. Now, let's talk about the 6 main default sections that your YouTube description should always have. So there's about 6 main parts to this. Part 1 is that the title of your video should always be the first sentence in your description. So, bam, you decided that in part 1 of this series. Just copy that, paste it again, first sentence, done. The second section that every YouTube video should have is what I call a branding section. You might call it Connect with Me or something else, But basically what you're gonna do here is you're going to write all of your social media profiles that you want people to connect with you on, any types of opt-in, lead magnet, Facebook group, whatever, link out to that you want people to join. And then finally, of course, if you're offering any products or services to your YouTube audience, you want to link out to that. The third section that every YouTube description should have is tags. Yes, what you decided in the last video 2 of this series, the tags that you're literally going to be typing into the little tag section of when you upload your video, you should also be taking these and literally copy and pasting them into your YouTube description. So there's 500 characters taken care of right there for you. The fourth default section is that towards the bottom of your description, you should have a line that literally says, "This video title is," and then the title of your video. The fifth section that every YouTube description should have is a little watch next section, and this is where I normally link out to the 2 videos that I bring attention to at the end of whatever it is that I'm recording and whatever videos you're going to put on your end screen. So while you're uploading your video and you pick videos and put them onto your end screen, make sure that you are also writing a section in your YouTube description called Watch Next. Put the link of that video and then also write the title or possibly even a little brief description about the video, and you've got another couple hundred characters taken care of for you right there. And then finally, the sixth default section that every YouTube video description should have is including 3 hashtags. Yes, YouTube is starting to roll out a hashtag-based search functionality. So while most of these hashtags are not bringing in just oodles and oodles of traffic right now, it is just one more thing that you can add to your description that takes up character count, and it lets YouTube better understand what your video is about. An optional 7th section is a credits section. Not everybody's going to need this, but if you use any type of royalty-free music or royalty-free stock images that you need to give credit for, you can do that here. Or if you're like me and you have team members that you want to thank and credit for their work on your video, then you can include that here. After you write these 6 or 7 sections, you should easily have at least 1,500 characters. I mean, at least, even just putting the tags in there, you've already got over 500 characters. And because these are all going to be a part of every single one of your future YouTube descriptions, that means that you never have to start a YouTube description from scratch again. You're welcome. I actually made a system of this for myself by literally copying these sections into a document that I can then just make a duplicate of every single time that I have to write a new YouTube video description. Now that you have your default sections from part 1, it's time for you to write the part of your description that's going to be unique and change with every new video. This is where you're probably going to want to have watched the other 2 videos in this YouTube search engine optimization for small channels series, because in video 1, you would have performed all of the SEO research and set up the document that I'm about to reference. And then in video 2 in the series, you would have went through the research that you performed before and selected all the tags for your videos. If you haven't seen them, then it might be a little bit confusing to follow along, and you're not going to have an SEO document that looks like mine does now. But you should probably still be able to follow the steps in this video. So pretty much what you're doing here is you're taking the video tags that we decided on in the second video of this series. Yes, the same ones that you're copy and pasting into the description, but the final step to fill out this 5,000 character limit is for you to start creating sentences around each of the tags that you're going to be using. So yes, you're going to go down them one by one, writing a sentence that contains your tags, like one sentence for one tag, until you reach that 5,000 character limit. Don't worry if your YouTube description sounds weird and repetitive. The truth is that this is SEO writing, so it probably will sound weird and repetitive. But you don't have to worry about that. This is not a place where you want to be a perfectionist, because doing this is not about writing the most beautiful and amazing piece of literature that ever exists. What is important is to make sure that you have a good attention to detail. You want to make sure that you're spelling all of the terms that you're trying to rank for correctly. And you want to make sure that you don't have any type of typos or spacing problems or anything that could possibly confuse YouTube and Google regarding what your video is about. The entire point of doing this whole search engine optimization process thing is that YouTube is a robot. And even with all of their auto generation captions and scanning and all that stuff, YouTube and by extension Google are still not very good at knowing what your video is about. And they are certainly not using that information in your best interest or to help you rank. What they are using it for is to further their own goals and their own agenda. That's why it's so important for you to go through this whole search engine optimization process so that you can set YouTube up for success to best help you rank. So, if you've already followed part 1 and part 2 of this video, but you're still struggling to get to 5,000 characters, then I have a few tips for you. Tip number 1 is to try to write more new sentences using your existing list. So if you got all the way down your tags, wrote a sentence for each one, and you've still got more characters to go, I recommend just restarting the list and trying to write more new sentences around that. Tip number 2 is to review other terms that you would have researched during video 1 of this multi-part series. So referencing your search engine optimization research document, if you have other terms that are highlighted in green or orange that didn't make it into your tag list, you can definitely feel free to use those here and create sentences around those terms similar to what you've already done with your existing tags. Tip number 3 is to look at your outline or your script if you have a fully scripted video for more ideas. If you followed part 1 of this video and part 2 of this video, you should easily be at 3,000 characters as a minimum, if not way more than that. If you've truly run out of ideas, and you followed the first 2 tips, and you still need more characters, it's still always better to have closer to 5,000 characters of relevant information. So to get as close to 5,000 characters as possible, especially as you get down towards the bottom of your description, you can definitely take the focus slightly, ever so slightly off of the keyword terms and just fill it in with general relevant content. Tip number 4 is a last resort, but if you're really struggling for more characters, you could consider adding more videos than just 2 into your watch next section. So if you have other videos on your channel that are relevant to the one that you're making, then sometimes including interlinking content can be a great way to take up more characters in your description while also letting YouTube know and have a better understanding of what your video is about and what it should consider relevant. So doing this will let YouTube know that your current video is related to the other videos. So now you know exactly how to get more views from YouTube search, even if you don't have any subscribers. But what about their next steps? If you want to learn how to monetize that audience, then you're going to have to learn how to build a powerful sales funnel. That's exactly why you should join my 1-month Marketing Nerd free funnel sales copywriting course. You can get that at jamiedoerschuck.com/funnel. I created it to teach you step by step exactly how to figure out who your audience is, how to develop a strategy, and of course, how to do the copywriting for everything that's important that you'll need for your funnel, like your sales pages and your emails and everything like that. You don't want to miss it, so definitely go to jamiedoerschuck.com/funnel and sign up for that. If you want to join a community of smart business owners and marketers just like you, then join our secret society, the Marketing Nerd Crew. It's a place where we can connect with each other and where you can get advice not only from me, but from other business owners and professional marketers who are in my community. You can join that Facebook group at jamiedoerschuck.com/crew. You can also find the link for that, everything that I've mentioned, and all of the other parts of the Marketing Nerd community down there in the description. So definitely make sure that you check that out. Thanks so much for watching this far. I really appreciate your time and your attention today. If you like this strategy, then please make sure that you go down there and give this video a like, because doing that seriously does actually help me grow my YouTube channel. Also, while you're down there, make sure that you subscribe to the Marketing Nerd Show and that you hit that bell so that you're notified every time I post a free video with awesome marketing advice every single week. And remember, guys, this is the third video in a multi-part series about how to grow a small YouTube channel with YouTube search engine optimization. Definitely make sure that you watch video 1 and video 2 so that you can follow this whole process along with me every step of the way. Just check out these 2 videos that popped up for you because I hand selected them for you and I know that you're gonna love them. Thank you so much again for joining me in today's video, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye for now.